All right, so today we're going to be talking about how to find the surface area of a cylinder. And so I want you to understand that the sum of the areas of all of the surfaces of a 3D figure is known as the surface area. And so we can use what's called a net. So this is considered to be our net. And we can use that so that we can find the surface area of a 3D figure. In this case, we're looking for the surface area of a cylinder. So a cylinder is going to be a 3D figure. It has two parallel congruent circular bases, which we can see here. Congruent just means that they're the same, and parallel means that they will never ever touch. Okay. So they're going to be parallel, they're congruent, circular bases, and they are connected by this curved surface, which is like a rectangle. Okay. And so what will happen is we're going to um, add up the areas that we find for our two circles and our rectangle, and that will tell us what our surface area is. So it's not about volume. We're not filling it in. We're just talking about it as a flat object because that's what it is. We're going to take the flat object and turn it into a 3D object, but we're not filling it up. So we're not talking about volume. We're just talking about area. So in order for us to find that, the formula that you're going to need is two formulas. You're going to need to know the formula of your circles, which we know that the area of a circle is equal to pi times the radius squared. Um, and then we have the rectangular surface, which is going to be, so this is for a circle. And then you'll need to know for the rectangle. And the rectangle, the area is length times width. Okay. But remember that this came from the circle, right? So it's like us cutting the circle open and then it rolls out, and then this is the length of that circle, right? So we remember that remember the circumference is that line around the circle. The circumference is equal to 2 times the pi radius in the radius, okay? So 2 pi r is what we call the circumference. So in terms of this one, the rectangle, when you're looking for the area of a rectangle, we could write it as length times width. You could also say, hey, length, base times height. So these are all ways that you can figure out the rectangle. So because they're using an h here, I'm going to use this base times height. Well, in place of the base, this is going to be your base. We're going to replace that with 2 pi times the radius. That's going to be your base. And then we're going to also multiply that by the height. Okay. So this is what we're going to be looking for. The area of the rectangular shape, we're going to find, you'll need the circumference. You'll need the circumference, and then you'll need the height. So that's your base and your height. And then in terms of the circle, you're going to be looking for the formula for the area of the circle. And because there's two of them, you're going to multiply that amount by 2. So the total formula that we're going to be looking at in this one for the surface area is going to be known as 2 pi times the radius times the height, which is this here, right? And then we're going to add in the area of the circles. Remember, there's two of those circles. So it's going to be 2 times pi r squared. So this is our formula for us to find the surface area of the rectangular shapes. Now, let me look and see on our reference sheet if we have that listed on there, so you'll know where to find that. All right, so here's the formulas that we have on our reference sheet. So they don't give us the surface area for the cylinder. However, remember that the cylinder is made up of two circles and one rectangle. So if you know the formula of the rectangle, or the circumference, if you know the circumference, and you know the area of the two circles, then you should be able to figure out what the surface area is. So again, this is our formula that we're going to use. We're going to find the area of the rectangle, and then we're going to find the area of the two circles, add those together, and we will have what's called our surface area. So watch as we go on through some of these examples, and hopefully it'll get clearer for you. Let's go ahead and get started.